Hey, you just caught me in the middle of editing another Great Racer Cinema Productions video. Greetings, Mac enjoyers, and welcome to yet another yearly MARCHintosh video in the Bandito's Museum of Apple Computers. Yeah. So, my original plan was to make a remake of the iMac G3 video that has been on indefinite hold, and I planned on installing classic mode on it, but there was a problem. The iMac G3 doesn't run burned disk, so I still have to wait on getting it from eBay or whatever place I go to. Yeah. Just so I can install macOS Classic on it. But anyways, I decided to change my plans, and we're going to be taking a look at, well, one of the laptops on display here. I'll show you it. Yeah, that's the laptop. There. So, this is an interesting chonker. Yeah, I got this laptop from a seller whose name I won't disclose for $20. Yeah, and it worked. Yeah, even though it has a 166 on the front bezel, it's actually the 113 model. I plan on getting the correct bezel for it and restoring it. But yeah, this is the PowerBook 1400cs. And of course, if you wonder why this thing is here, it's because they planned on selling book covers for it. So it came available in several different configurations, including a 166 megahertz configuration, and the lower end, 113 megahertz. Yeah, it was released in 1996 and discontinued in 1998, right when Steve Jobs became CEO of Apple. It comes standard with a floppy disk drive, but you could have the option of swapping it for a CD drive. Yeah, this isn't a CD drive, it's just the front bezel. It's just an empty bezel. Yeah, the PowerBook 1400cs was released before this, and, well, it didn't include the option of a CD-ROM drive because the bay was just too small to fit it. Although on Independence Day, they had a model with a prototype with a 3-inch CD-ROM drive, but was never released to the market. Actually, this is the battery tray. Sorry about that. Yeah, it has a knockout bezel for a battery tray. I could get a new battery for it. And this is where the flop drive actually is. You can swap it out with a CD-ROM drive if you want to. Yeah, this is the floppy drive. Yeah, and it's hot swappable. So it means you can swap it in with anything. And of course, it has your usual array of ports on the back. Aside from not having the option of Ethernet for some reason, even though this laptop was made in the 90s. Yeah, so it has a power port, yeah, for connecting it to the wall and charging it. And sound out and sound in for headphones and microphone. An SCSI, also known as Scuzzy port. An ADB port. And of course an Apple serial port for hooking up your printer and modem. And it also has an infrared sensor on the back as well. Aside from ports, it has a card reader on the side. Yeah, you can eject it if you want to and swap it in with others. Yeah, it reads PCIe cards just like any other laptop. It's missing the two covers. I will get around to that if I plan on getting a full restoration. And even though it isn't in the best shape, it does still work. Yeah, it has a full keyboard and the standardized Apple trackpad, which was first introduced on the 500 series of PowerBooks. The on-off switch on the keyboard end. The keyboard's full-sized. Also has like brightness control and volume control, which is pretty convenient. And the good old classic Apple logo. So yeah, while this laptop did satisfy the complaints of a PowerBook 1400 owners wanting a CD-ROM drive, it fixed that problem, but the problem is that it wasn't that powerful, which is one of the main criticisms in reviews. Yeah, performance was underwhelming, and we would eventually get the PowerBook 1400cs years later with a faster processor and the same expandability options, but with even more options to boot. Yeah, because this doesn't have a an Ethernet port, you have to get like an adapter, which would be a real pain in the rectum. So yeah, an interesting laptop in Apple's history, and definitely got it from a seller who sold it for me for a good price, because nowadays vintage Mac products are in so high demand that it's nearly impossible to get one cheap unless if you go to some yard sale or a thrift store that's just willing to sell off their entire collection. So yeah, different times. And the guy also offered me an upgrade card. I didn't have the SC30 at the time. I now have an SC30, but it's just sitting there on display. Yeah, I didn't get that card, although it would have been one of my more interesting acquisitions. So yeah, really a interesting laptop in Apple's history, and was actually the first Apple laptop to come with the option of having a CD-ROM drive. So yeah, let's start it up and test out some games. Alright, this is the PowerBook 1400cs. I found a couple of floppy games. Let's zoom it in and test it out for ourselves. Yeah, I got a good deal on this laptop, which is hard to do nowadays considering that vintage Mac products are in high demand. Well, so high demand that it's hard to find an affordable one. These were different times before COVID hit us and before inflation became a monster. Yeah, inflation was like Godzilla back then. Now, inflation is like Godzilla nowadays. Back then, we didn't care much for it. Yeah. Yeah. Now that's a jump scare. Just turns on like that. It takes forever to boot up unless you have one of those Scuzzy the SD card thingamajiggies. I should get one. Think of getting an ID to SD card adapter for my second Power Mac G4. Because I plan on making it into a monster machine. Yeah. The brightness is a turn it all the way down. Yeah. Has a passive matrix display, but I've heard stories about active matrix displays having the tunnel vision problem. So called because it looks like tunnel vision. And people have tried to find fixes for it. So yeah, it still runs and it's still pretty good. While the passive matrix display is a lower end display, it still manages to run. Yeah. I wanted to make a quick video for a MARCHintosh. So yeah, we'll skip ahead because this laptop takes forever to boot up. So, jump cuts. Still going. Yeah, if this had a Scuzzy to SD card adapter, well, it would have booted up really faster, but I don't usually rely on having computers as part of my museum having unoriginal components. I want to keep a lot of the computers unless if I have another one that's pretty much the same, bone stock, and factory fresh. Yeah, actually, I have to correct myself. That isn't the volume control, that's the contrast. Yeah, I should correct myself. Because I mistakenly referred to it as the volume control. You have to adjust the volume in the settings. This was before built-in volume controls on Macs became a thing. Yeah, you know. Yeah, passive matrix display. Trade-off of having it is that it's like running an operating system on a Game Boy Color. But yeah, we got our two games that we're going to try out Arkanoid. But first, let's see the system specs about this computer. Yeah, it's running macOS 8.5. 10.1 megabytes is available on the hard disk. And we're going up to System Profiler. Right, Apple System Profiler, there. This is a really nice computer. I plan on getting a 3400C to add to my collection as well. Yeah, it's going to take forever. If this was Scuzzy the SD, it would have done it in no time. But I keep a museum. And the first thing I want with museum quality computers is to have all original components. Scuzzy the SD thingamajiggies count as upgrades, so unless I have a duplicate computer, I don't plan on putting those thingies in any of my computers. So I rely on having a original Scuzzy drives to keep it factory fresh. Yeah. System profile, where we're going to see the yeah, it's a PowerPC 603E running at 117 megahertz and has a built-in FPU. Yeah, I should get the correct bezel for it. I wonder how much they cost on eBay. So yeah, let's try out Arkanoid. Amazingly, the floppy drive still works. Oh. Yeah, it's 800K. It's an old floppy. It's meant for the older Macs. Sometimes it has problems. Sometimes the floppy drives have problems. So yeah. See if there are any built-in games. See if there are any games on the MARCHintosh hard drive. Might have to find a replacement floppy drive for it, since the floppy drive looks like it's dying. It's not reading either one of my disks. Alright, applications. Yeah. Yeah, there's no games on there. But there is QuickTime. Yeah, it looks like the floppy drive is on its way out. So I'm going to have to find a replacement for it, but let's test out the sample movie. I intended on testing it with games, but apparently the floppy drive doesn't want to work. It's the problem with old Mac floppy drives is that if they die, you're going to have to find a replacement. Yeah, it's been sitting in there for quite a while. Okay, so let's play. It actually plays QuickTime pretty well. Let's do it again. Yeah, either the floppy drive doesn't work or I have bad floppies. We're gonna get another game to try it out with. Be back. Okay, we've got Super Tetris. These are 800K floppies. It doesn't recognize it because it's 800K. This disc worked without problem though. Oh my god, that is a horrible sound. Sounds like it's dying. It's just on its last legs. It's real sad. Yeah, it's got a bad floppy drive. It's sad that we can't play any games on it. One last try. Got my Global Fax disc that I don't have any use for unless I want to burn games to it. Yeah, look at that. That's a really sad sound. Yeah, the floppy drive is on its way out. These games worked on my PowerBook 1400cs, although I don't want to get it out and fold it up because it had fragile plastics and I don't have any 3D printed parts for it yet. I'll get around to it. Don't worry. But it's sad to see this computer with floppy drive not working. Unless we have a CD-ROM drive for it, we can't really do much with it right now. Because I tried a lot of floppy. Tried several floppies and none of them worked. So it leads me to believe that there's something wrong with the floppy drive. We must test out a game, right? We're going to see if there are any built-in games. There's Jigsaw Puzzle. Yeah. Alright, so new. Okay. Start new puzzle. Large puzzle, since this is a test. Yeah. We're only going to do an easy puzzle, considering that we're testing out the computer. Yeah, this is an easy puzzle. Even Lenny Loud can do this puzzle. So easy that even Lenny Loud can do it. And she's just ditzy, not dumb. Yeah, my first Loud has reference in the video. So yeah, it plays games. Unfortunately, we don't have a CD-ROM drive for it yet, but I will get to it. I have more games on CD than a floppy. So I will post an update video if I get a CD-ROM drive for it and an actual working floppy drive for it. The floppy drive for it, the built-in one, yeah, it is the one that got, it is on its way out and it is dying. Yeah, we're going to look into the system folder, see if we got any games to try it out with. We're going to use Sherlock, our best friend. Except it's not. Oh wait, it is. It is on this version. So yeah, I will post an update video if I get a CD-ROM drive for it. Yeah, this is macOS 8.5 and Sherlock was introduced. Find file. Find. No items were found. Games. There's the games document. Yeah, system folder, preferences. Yeah, let's go ahead and find it. Yeah, we can't open it. But we can at least try out a word processor. There's only one game we can try out on this computer because the floppy drive is bad. And finding replacements are expensive. So yeah, we're gonna at least oh wait. We do have Arkanoid on there. But we need the disk for it though. Put the discs away because it didn't work. Last time I tried it out last time and the floppy drive worked. So yeah, we did have success after all. But not so much right now. Oh wait, it worked. It actually worked this time. Seriously, the floppy drive is temperamental. It's like freaking a Lin Loud Jr. just does what it wants. Yeah, the floppy drive works. It just needed some time to work. Yeah, the Superdrives on old Macs are temperamental. Actually, it's more like Lil Lad than Lin Legend, because Lil Lad is the most temperamental of the Lad sisters, and the floppy drive is temperamental and does whatever it wants to. Oops. Crashed. Yeah. Alright, so we reset it, and now we're going to set the colors to black and white. Hopefully this game will run this time. I hope. Okay, let's see. It's an application. Doesn't even show up on there. Doesn't show up on there this time. Come on. Yeah. Yeah, the motor's dying. I wanted to try Arkanoid. I got the resolution set up. But the floppy drive refuses to work. And let's go back into control panels. Go back to monitors and sound. And set the resolution back to color. to thousands. And there we go. Even the Prince of Persia doesn't want to work. It's real sad. It's really, really sad. Considering that I plan on at least playing a couple of games on there. But it just doesn't want to work. I'll let you know if I can get a replacement one. But for now, let's end with a testing out Microsoft Word. And let's end with a simple test. Okay. It's a piece from a computer. So it's real sad that the floppy drive can't work. It doesn't work anymore, which is sad. Yeah, it's a temperamental booger. Okay, let's set the font to 14. Actually, let's set it to 36. Yeah, and it will say to you, "Hello, 2023. Hope y'all are looking forward to seeing the Jones movie." I know of the chord. But let's at least hope this one will be better. Yep. There it is. That's what it says to you. Hello, 2023. Hope y'all are looking forward to seeing the new Indiana Jones movie. I know Kingdom of the Crystal Skull isn't great, but let's at least hope this one will be better. Very, very good. So yeah, this concludes our test and tinkering around with this laptop. Yeah, so unless if you want to try out old Mac games on a period correct PowerPC hardware and want to get a full experience on how people used computers back then, well, I don't really recommend it. Although, you have to keep in mind, nobody back then had a high-end machines to play games on. A lot of people had low-end computers, and this computer dates back to the 90s, when low-end computers were the norm, and when consoles were still a commonplace, and the way to go when it comes to playing games. Yeah, it shuts down really fast, just like that. So you have to keep in mind, this computer was what probably people back then with a tight budget would have had. Well, aside from Windows computers. We didn't have the highest end of equipment back then. But believe me, pretty much most of the games that this Mac plays on, you can also play on a G3 or even a G4. So yeah, there's no game on the G3 or G4 that this computer can play. mainly exists as a collector's item nowadays. And that's where it will stay. If you want to play some great Mac games on period correct hardware, I'd highly recommend you to get the PowerBook 1400C. I should get one. Or even the PowerBook G3, or pretty much any Mac G3 or Mac G4 if you want to play old Mac games. And if you want to play games on a floppy drive, well, highly recommend you to get a Performa 630 or 640 as your first option. Wait, the Performa Centris 640. The Performa 640 doesn't exist. The 630 exists. My mind's getting fuzzy. Yeah, I would highly recommend you get the Performa 630 over the Centris 610. I know it has an IDE drive, but we don't care. We just want a good computer to play games on, and that's what it does. So yeah, the PowerBook the PowerBook 1400cs only exists as a collector's item nowadays, and it's only there for the die-hard Mac enthusiasts that want, some Mac history in their collection. Yeah, it's not a high-demand computer like a lot of vintage Macs nowadays, but it's still probably going to be in demand so much that the price is going to increase. Because a lot of Macs nowadays have a price increase. Macflation. So yeah. Definitely get a G3 or G4 or Performa 630 if you want to play some vintage Mac games. Those are my first 3 picks. So yeah, we had fun tinkering around with this computer, and hopefully I'll get a CD-ROM drive for that. But for now, it's time to say goodbye. See you guys next time. Hopefully next year in MARCHintosh will be better. Peace out. Smaller channels are at risk, and every subscriber means a lot to them. Like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for the latest Racer Cinema Productions videos. And together, we can help drive the YouTube algorithm away from this channel, so that I don't succumb to the fate of other smaller channels getting defeated by the viewer-based algorithm. Thank you for watching. Catch you guys next time.